Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this webinar. I'm Umberto Caligaro, and I am the CMDBuild Core Project Manager. Today, during this presentation, I will explain which are the main features that we have developed for this new version of CMDBuild 3.4.2 version. And first of all, I want to remember you that there's a chat box in the right. Then during my presentation you can write your questions and I will answer at the end of my presentation. And let's start with the presentation. Okay. But what's new in this version? We have made improvements to the language choice on the login page. Then we have made improvements to data management module navigation menu. We have also made a new history visualization, and we have done improvements to the administration module home dashboard. We have also added the Webhooks management and added a new configuration page for CMDBuild mobile application. We have added some improvements to the notification templates and other minor features and improvements. Now let's see the improvements that we have made to the language choice on the login page. You can see here that the language choice is not before the username, but it's moved on the top right of the page. And now users, when came in the login page, they can see the login choice, the language choice over there, and clicking on the language will be shown a list of all available languages with the relative flag. Then we have made improvements to data management module navigation menu. First of all, we have added the favorite menu items. Then users can create their favorite folder where they can save the pages that they visit mostly or they prefer, and then also the user can sort that folder and create then its personal menu navigation. And we have also added a search tool to allow user to find in an easy way what is looking for inside the menu. With these two features, we hope that users can find in an easy way the pages that they are looking for to work in CMDBuild. Then we have added a new history visualization. We have added a new mode, only changes, and using this mode, user can see the changes that are made on a single attribute or more than one attribute. But in this mode, they can see only the changes made in that card, not the full card with the old data. And also we have done an export of CSV format, and then users can download the history and if they need to, and see with as CSV format. We have made improvements to the administration module home dashboard. First of all, we have added node information. From here, the administrator can see the version installed on the node, can have information about the server, the server time, the application uptime, then the space available on the disk, or the Java memory usage, or the system memory usage, the load of the system, how many database connections are active, or how many connections are idle. Then we have added a system monitor dashboard where the user can view the history of the load, in this case the memory load or the system load, and also the active sessions. The administrator can choose the time, the range, if he wants the last hour, the last 6 hours, 12, 18 or 24 hours. And then we have improved the user and group statistics. We have added the first of all, we have added a graph with a bar graph with the number of active and non-active standard users and active and non-active service users. And also we have added the column non-active in the already existing table for of users. And then another important feature that we have added in CMDBuild is the possibility to manage webhooks. In this case, webhooks can be configured in this way. User can choose which class or which process to add, where to add the webhook, then can choose the event when this webhook is fired, for example, at the creation or the edit or the delete of a card or a process. Then the method to use for the call, for the HTTP call to and then we have the user can specify the URL to call that this webhook have to call. The URL can contain some dynamic parameters, and also it is possible to specify some headers, and for put and post methods it is possible to configure the body of the request. We will see in my demo how we can configure a webhook. Then another feature that we have implemented in this new version is a page to configure the CMDBuild mobile application. First of all, the administration can decide to enable or disable the mobile feature, and if the administration disable it, all the mobile features configuration are will be hidden from the administration module. Then it is possible to insert the customer code and the device name prefix. And in this case, if the administrator fulfill these fields, will be presented a functionality to the users to easily configure the application by using a QR code. And then we have a new field, a new configuration, which is the notification authentication info that is needed for the usage of the push notification that I'm going to explain you now. Because we have made new changes also for notification templating. And then, first of all, we have added the management of push notification in CMDBuild mobile application. In the previous versions, we have added the in-app notification, and now with this version, the notifications are also available for the mobile application. And then we have added in administration module the possibility to configure the templates for the mobile notification. Mobile notifications are enabled only if the administration fulfill the authentication field that we saw in the previous slide. Another improvement that we have done in notification templates is the management of attachments on email notification templates. With this version, will be possible to add attachments directly from the template. The attachments can be of two types. The attachments of the card or process instance, and the attachment can be a report. And then if the user wants to attach the attachments of the card, can choose if attach all the attachments of the card or only something, configuring the filter to use to get the attachments. And for the reports, if the report have some parameters, here the administration can configure also the parameters using also dynamic variables. Then we have done other minor features and improvements. For example, we have added a filter on the add relation. Then now it is possible to filter the list of cards that can be related to a card, and this is possible by configuring this filter on the domain. Then we have added the page to configure the limited administration permissions. The limited administration was already present in the previous versions, but was missing a page where to configure the permissions. And now in this version, we have added also this page. And then we have added a new task to manage the service bus descriptors. Then now it is possible to use a task for the running of the service bus. We have added a new page to manage the email which are in error status. Before this version, the administrator was not able to know which email was in error, and now from this version the administrator can have a list of emails which are in error and can edit it or resend it or delete. And another feature that we have implemented is to manage encrypted values on the service bus descriptors parameters. An example is because the service bus descriptors can access external services, but to access it is possible that is needed an authentication. Before this version, user write the password as parameter, but as string. And now we have added a functionality to encrypt that string that now is more secure. And another feature that we have we have added new configurations to enable WebSocket or to enable or disable web service REST v2 or swap web services. These are the main features that we have implemented in these versions. If you want to get more details or to get the list of all the features of the improvements or bug fix, you can refer to the changelog. And I also want to remember you that all these features are implemented, are available also for the vertical solutions, CMDBuild ready to use and open main. Now let's see a demo of these functionalities. Here I have my instance. As you can see, this is a login page, and I have the language choice here on the top right corner. And if I click here, I get the list of available languages, and I can choose the language that I want to use. There are 33 languages, and in this version we have added the Romanian language. Then if you want to collaborate and add or help us to translate CMDBuild in other language, you can help us, you can collaborate. Then now let's see, sorry. And here we can see the favorite menu. I've configured my favorite menu with all employees for the request fulfillment and incident management processes. If I want to add another page to the favorites, I right click on the menu item and I can add it on in the favorites menu. Then in the favorites menu, I can sort the items with the drag and drop. And if I right click on an item, I can remove from favorites or set as initial page. Another way to add items to the favorites menu is to use the star that we have added in this bar on the right. Then I can add to the favorite menu, or I can remove from the favorite menu. Always in the navigation menu, we have added the search tool. From here I can search, for example, for employee, and here I get the items that match with this string, and the items are sorted, are grouped by type, then classes, reports, process, or so on. Then here for employee, I go on internal employees. These are the two main features that we have added for the navigation in management navigation. Now let's see the changes that we have done in the history. Now I open a card, in this case is Aaron Anderson, the internal employee Aaron Anderson, and from here when I open the history, I see the standard view. We have added this field to change the view mode, and now if I click only changes, now I don't see nothing because I have also to choose the attributes that I want to see the history. In this case, I want to see the room history, and now I see the changes that are made to the room field. I see that at the beginning, the room was the 1, then 5, and then the 3. I can also add other attributes. This I don't have other changes, but I can choose all the attributes that I want. And here we have added also the print button to export the data in CSV format. In has all the other print actions that we have in CMDBuild. This action exports only the visible data in the grid. Then if I'm using this mode, when I print as CSV this grid, I see on this mode with only changes. But if I go on full data and I print as CSV, I see this data. Then the export CSV exports always what I'm seeing in the main grid. Well, now let's see the administration home dashboard. I go on the administration module, and here I can see the new dashboard. First of all, I have the node information with the version and the build with the data of that build. I have information about the server time, the application uptime, and then other information of the system, the space, hard disk space, or the Java memory usage, or the system memory usage, and the system load, the active connections on the database, and the idle connection on the database. Here we have the system monitor, the memory. When I choose memory, I can see the Java memory and the system memory. Then I can choose to see the system load. Here I have the history of the system load and also the active sessions. This is a local instance, then I have not much sessions. I can also choose the range, and then last 24 hours or last 6 hours, and so on. Okay. Another improvement that we have done is here in the users and groups statistics. We have added this graph, this bar graph, to show how many are the active standard users, the non-active standard users, the active service user, and non-active service users. And all these informations are here in the grid, in a table. This table in the previous version was in the bottom of the page, and now it's here as a second chart, and can help the administrator to have to know how many users and groups are active in this in its installation. Then the other charts are the same of the previous versions. Now let's see how to configure a webhook in CMDBuild. The webhooks are under system config webhooks, and here the administrator can configure the webhooks, add all the webhooks he wants. When we add a webhook, first of all we have to insert a name, test webhook, and have to choose the class or process. In this case I choose building. I can choose also the language. The language is this option is used for example, the lookup translations. Then if I leave the default, the system will send the standard translation. Otherwise, I can choose a specific translation. Then I have to choose the event that can be create, update, or delete for classes. In this example, I choose the create. Then I can choose the method used by the webhook to make the HTTP request, and I can choose get, put, post, or delete. Now I choose post. Here I enter the URL, my service.example.com. Okay, and here I can also I can add parameters. I can, for example, card ID. Okay, here if I need, I can add some headers. For example, a content type, application JSON, and here if I need, I can add also some information for the body. This, for example, description that can be taken by the card description. Okay, using this card column ID or description, I get the information of the card which is firing this webhook. Then I can save it, and now every time I will create a new building card, this webhook will be called. And yes, this is another example that I've made before for. And here, okay, and here we get the mobile configuration page. And here you can see that we have the flag enabled, or this that now is true. And if I disable it, all the mobile features will be disabled in my CMDBuild. But now I want to get enabled, and here I can add the customer code, the device name prefix, and the notification authentication info. If I enter the customer code information and device name prefix, in the user menu I have a new voice which is configure mobile device, and if I click it, I get a pop-up with a QR code that can help the user to configure the mobile CMDBuild mobile application just using this QR code. If I want to change my device name, I can change it and regenerate the QR code. Now, if I use my application and I use this QR code, my application will be configured in an easy way. Now, and this mobile features, other mobile features are the mobile notification templates. As I explained before, we have added the possibility to send push notification on CMDBuild mobile. To do this, I have to configure the authentication code in the previous page, and then I can configure some notification templates. From here, I can add a template by insert a test name of the template, and then here I have to specify the then the users who will be notified, and then I can write it as a string. Then I can send to a specific specific user, or I can use some template language variables. Then I can configure CQL user, and then configure that parameter. Here I can write the subject. I will show you one notification already configured. Yes. This is a notification that I've configured for this demo. Then here I have the receiver, the subject of this notification, the body of the notification, and also here I have the path used for to open a resource when I tap on the notification. In this case, I will open the incident management instance, and then here I can configure my variables, then SQL user, and the code to evaluate the user. Okay, the other feature that you have implemented for the templates notification is the possibility to send attachments. Let me see. Yes, for example, here I have configured for example, here is there is a notification email and for a new incident, and I can choose to, for example, to add on that notification also all the attachments that are in that incident. Okay. Or for example, let me see, for the suspension, or where for the closure, I think yeah, I can configure. Let me see if it's here. For example, I can configure a report. For example, the timetable, and if I want to send a timetable when I receive a closure notification, I by configuring this report when when CMDBuild will send this notification, when it creates the email, it already add the report as attachment to that email. Okay, and from here I can see the configured attachments. And now let's see how to configure the filter for add relations. And here I have an example in this case. This domain is between employee and contract. And here at the end of the page, I can we have added these two fields. One for the filter to use when I am on the origin class, and the other when I am the destination class. For example, here when I am on the contract, because this is the contract is the destination class, to add an employee, here I configured the filter to use. Then in this case will be display only the employees which are of subtype supplier employee. This filter was used before on the reference field, because if I go on the contract and supply contract, here there's a reference field employee which had this filter. And here we have also added this option in the reference field to use the same domain configured in filter. Now, in this case, by doing this, when the user choose the employee from the reference field or adds a relation from the relation tab, the employee list is the same, is filtered with the same filter. Now let's see the limited administration page. If I go on groups and permission, from here I can add a new group, limited administration. The type is limited administrator, and when I choose this type, here I get the table with all the administration permissions. Then and now I choose if for each of these modules, then class, processes, domains, which are the permission for this group. The default is none, but I can choose the read permission or the write permission. When I choose a permission and there are some problems with because there are some dependencies on the permissions, I get a warning here that advise me that I have to give some read permissions, and for example here I have to give read permission to lookup type, domains, import, export, and so on. And we have also added the fixed permission action that allow the user to fix the problems and then the page can be saved. And now this all the users who belongs to this group can access the administration module, and in this case can read all these modules. Then can see classes, processes, domains, and lookup types, and so on. Okay. Now, another feature that we have added is in the task manager. Here you can see that we have the new voice service bus. From here we can add this new task service bus. Test. I go. And in the second step, I have to choose the bus descriptor and the gate that must run. Okay. Then in the last step, I have the cron configuration, and here I choose when my task will run. For example, well, okay, this is the same configurator that we have already seen in the previous versions. Perfect. Now the task is not running, and I can start it or also run once. Now let's see the new page to manage the emails in error. Here in the notifications voice, we have email errors, and we have the list with these emails. From here I can edit an email, or I can delete it, or I can also send it. For example, if I edit the email, I can that example.com. Okay, I can do save and send, and now this email will be in the email queue. Okay, here I can find the email that I have already I've changed it just now. Also about the service bus, descriptors, we have added the possibility to encrypt parameters. For example, now if I want to add in this bus descriptor username and password of a service, I add user admin, and then I can choose password. Here, if I want to insert the encrypted value, I can use this tool that will open me a prompt where I enter the value. In this case is admin. I press OK, and here the password is encrypted. And then I can save this this password, which will be saved in an encrypted way on the database. And to finish my presentation, I will show you some configurations that we have added in this version. Here we have all the configurations that were already implemented. Now here in the web services section, we have added the possibility to enable or disable the WebSockets. WebSockets are used for the in-app notification, and also for the chat. And we have also added the possibility to enable or disable SOAP and REST v2 web services. By default, for security reason, these web services are disabled. But if you need it for your because you have some implementations that are using these old these deprecated web services, you can enable from this page. Perfect. I think that I've shown you everything. Now I remember you that you can read all about this project on the website cmdbuild.org, or if you need or if you want to stay informed about all the project, you can subscribe the newsletter, or you can follow us on Twitter. If you want to help other users or be helped by the users, and you want to join the community, you can do it by registering the forum. And for any information, you can write to us by using the contact form in the website, or sending an email to sales@tecnoteca.com.